don't really, find problems with it in the sense that other people they have problems. Questions are raised, this is discussed. The laws concerning dress, the laws, criminal laws, all these different things, these exist. And of course the issue with the nurses in Saudi Arabia now, has become a big issue, and of course how that law is being applied and all these different things. This creates this feeling amongst the people. But in the end, I don't see any problem with Islam governing the state and all affairs of the state, and me accepting that as the system by which I will be governed, and you in England, choosing to be governed by this system and the things that are involved in it. And if you go against the laws of this system, you will be punished by the system, and you don't have any problem with that. I don't see any problem with you accepting that this other system where I accept that I will be punished when I go against the laws of this system.
Can you opt out? Isn't there a problem in Islam when you make a declaration of state? You then have doubts and decide you want to come out. What happens?
Well, if it's done quietly and privately, no problem. Or if you leave the country and go somewhere else and express it, then nobody is going to send somebody to hunt you down and kill you or anything. But the open promotion of apostasy in the society is considered to be a crime equivalent in this society to treason, because there is a link. You see, the thing is that the religion is a way of life. In this society, if you give away state secrets, they will kill you. As an act of treason, you've given away secrets about the atomic or whatever researches, you've given it to the Russians, or given it to somebody else, and they kill you for those giving away those secrets. That is the law of this country. In that society, if you promote apostasy, promote the repudiation of the religion, that this is considered an act of treason, because it's not an act against just a religion, which is a personal thing of individual's affair, but it's against the state.
If you pay a loss of faith, would that be considering promoting the state?
Declaring, if you're doing it openly, that is promoting apostasy. If you want to keep it personal to yourself, nobody's coming there, no inquisition court will set up and ask you, well, what is the state of your faith? But, to openly pronounce it in the society is an act of treason in the Islamic State. But as an individual, you go elsewhere, we're not going to hunt you down.
So in fact, if one is contemplating converting to Islam, it would be wise to do it fairly late on in life.
Late on in life?
Yes.
Well, no, I would just say
giving yourself as little time as possible to change your mind.
Well, no, I would just say that if one is contemplating it, they should contemplate it seriously. So this is not something you play around with, it is serious business here. There's no compulsion in coming in, but once you're in, you're in. You join the army, you join the army, you're in. You want to get out, you
can buy yourself out of the army.
Well, now, but there's a time perhaps you couldn't,
Tom.
Is there like an equivalent at the end of time? So we talked about resurrection and judgment, but is there an equivalent to universal?
Well, with the ending of this world, there's an ending of time as we know it, because time, of course, is related to the movement of the earth and the relationship to the sun and the turning and all these things. This is what's giving us days and these. It's how we calculate time per se. So, once this system ends, will end at that point, time as we know it ends.
So there's no idea of step, just as we don't know whether it's millions or billions, and you're happy with either.
In the future. Yes. No.
The position there's no, just a couple of short ones, there's no restriction then on the sort of political or ethnic or other positions that women involved in Islamic society. Then one thing.
Shall I answer that?
Yes.
Okay, in terms of leadership of the country, that is the final say, leadership of the country, the Prophet did state that any society which places a woman as the leader of the whole society, the final state, will not succeed. This was his statement. And on the basis of that, women may occupy other posts, but the final say is not given to women. And we don't see that as a problem in the sense of
who's we?
We Muslims. No, women who understand the religion, they don't see it as a problem. I mean, it's just like, because we look at the state as being a larger example of the family. And in the Islamic scheme of things, the family is headed by a male. This is the organization of the family, you know. That the final say in the family is with the male. He is held responsible. After his responsibility is that of the female, responsible in terms of the home. So, that order of things, you know, whether you like it or you don't, that order of things starts with the individual family. So people have accepted that role, that the man is the head of the family.
I must send my wife to the home tonight.
Okay.
In Pakistan, Muslim things?
No. It is a state of Muslim people which uses some aspects of Islamic law in its function, but it wouldn't be considered an Islamic state. Neither would Saudi Arabia. Even Saudi Arabia, to be honest, is not considered an Islamic state per se. It has Islam on the books to some degree, but it's compromised. I mean, it is a political entity that applies Islam where it is convenient, and where it is not, it does not. So we don't look at it as being an Islamic state per se. Huh? Presently, there aren't any.
Your second question, Paul.
Oh, just a minute. I think person here, she had her hand up, and I think you sort of ignored her almost 2-3 times.
This is rather a basic question, actually. It's late crime. In your book, Lessons of Islam?
Lessons of Islam?
Studies of Islam.
Islamic studies?
Studies of Islam. You put it in there about the actual creation of the Quran, that Muhammad himself didn't read or wrong, but his followers used to write down the revelation of people seeing or Muslim servant or any other thing that he could write on.
Right.
And it didn't actually come together as a complete book for 14 years, did it?
No, for within...
Go by your days.
No, I think maybe you missed the date, because it was recorded first as a text, complete text, within the period of rule of Abu Bakr, which is within 2 years after the time of the Prophet. Actually, within 1 year after his time.
So different people had different sections, though, didn't they, over a few years?
Well,
they all stay together.
They brought it together for the writing.
But they all stayed together, but they got all of the Quran in the one place.
When they were making that writing a year after the time of the death of the Prophet, that they brought all the pieces together, but they didn't even rely on that alone. They also brought all of the people who had memorized the whole of the text and compared the written with what was memorized, and then what was recorded as the basic codex was on the basis of what was written, confirmed by what was memorized.
Right. I'm sorry. I've actually got to stop us there. We are running right up against time, and we're going to have to move ourselves out fairly quickly. Can I, on your behalf, thank Dr. Phillips for a fascinating and very thorough introduction to Islam.
And it's my pleasure, and I enjoyed your questions. And at any time in the future, if you would like to further any discussions and I'm in the country, I would be only too glad to come and share.